Today we're going to look at point of view in literature on page 17 in the Grab and Go. There are 3 secure skills, 1 developing and 1 beginning skill here. So the secure skills: describe the point of view of the narrator or character speaker, use evidence from the text to support why the character has this point of view, explain how the point of view influences how the events are described. Now we're developing, explaining how the author effectively uses dialogue and actions to develop the point of view, and beginning to contrast the points of view of narrators or characters. So the vocab that we need is author's point of view, the way that the author thinks or feels about the topic, and influence, affecting the way someone thinks or acts. So the point of view that an author chooses to write from changes how we view the text. Point of view has multiple meanings, both of which are helpful in understanding what the author means. First, look at the perspective that the author is using. Are they using I or we, you, she, he, they? Writing as first person gives a more personal telling of a story. Second person is used to pull a reader into the story, and third person can more easily tell a whole story. So we know that a story is in first person when the author is using words like I, we, us. So that gives us a more personal telling because it's from their point of view. Second person will use words like you, and it's used to pull a reader into a story. So second person would be something like a choose your own adventure, where it says, you are walking down a hall, will you go left or right, or will you open the door? Very infrequently used, but can be effective when it is used. Third person is when the author writes as he, she, they, or gives the names of the characters, but is not using I, we, and us. And this gives a reader a wider view of the whole story because they're not stuck in one person's perspective. In addition to first, second, third person, we also need to look at the attitude of the author. Authors don't always come out and say what they think about a topic. Instead, we need to infer what they think about the topic. So we're going back and using those inferring skills, using evidence in the text, our background knowledge, and putting it together to make our inference. So something that we could look for is who's the hero in the story. Whatever the hero's characteristics are ones that the author values. What does the hero think about the events? So if the hero is someone to look up to, and how they look at how they think and react to story events. If they think something's a big deal, then that's a big deal to the author. If they let something slide by, then maybe the author's point of view is that it doesn't need to be dealt with or can be dealt with calmly. What words are used that have connotation? So some words make us think positive or negative things. Said is neutral. When the author uses Larry said whatever, that's neutral. But if they have Larry screamed something, then that has a negative connotation. In the same way that sang would have positive connotation. She sang her hello would give us that upbeat feeling. Another thing to look for in terms of point of view would be what are the problems and solutions? So when the author's writing the story, what does the author see as a problem? And how do they have both the hero and the villain solve problems? So that can give us all clues and hints about what the author's point of view is through the story.